Hey, it's Brandon McGee here, and again, welcome to Inside the Room with your host, State Representative Brandon McGee. And so I wanted to talk to you a little bit about who I am, why this type of work, sitting in front of a camera, literally talking about the affairs of our world, culture, politics, and people in general. I want to start off with sharing with you my own story and why this type of work is so important to me. You know, I often tell people about my story growing up in the city of Hartford, Connecticut, in Hartford's North End, having the opportunity to experience what my mother and father provided. But one thing that I can tell you is that I experience firsthand, now that I'm an older person and I look back, the stains of inequalities in our communities. Not to suggest that my educational journey was poor, but I think it's important that you understand why I'm so committed to pushing and moving forward on the journey of providing equity in education, housing, and economic development. But I could remember being bussed out, participating in Project Concern is what we called it, busing students to suburban neighborhoods. And there was this stark disparity between places like the city of Hartford and towns of Avon, West Hartford, and Canton, where I had the opportunity to attend school. I made a lot of cool friends, by the way. But being able to experience that and come home every day, eventually returning back to the Hartford public school system, making my way on through high school, going down to Alabama State University, where I achieved or matriculated and receiving my undergraduate degree. It was there, once again. I witnessed the inequalities many of our young people, in particular, folks of color, were experiencing, from housing to education to the lack of being able, or rather understanding the importance of their voice. And so I committed my work during my college days to the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People. NAACP is what we call it. I committed my time, my energy alongside many of my friends, chartering chapters, high school chapters, working alongside the state president, and really emphasizing the importance of using your voice as a tool, as a weapon, right? To bring justice to communities that were and continue to be overlooked and under-resourced. Inequalities. Graduated, pledged in a fraternity, moved back to Hartford, Connecticut. There was an opportunity for this young guy here to run for state representative, and I did, and I ran. Obviously, the rest is history. But it was at that moment I had the opportunity to bottle all of that energy, that wisdom or experience that I had garnered from high school to college, and I put it to work by becoming the state representative for the 5th Assembly District that represents Hartford and the town of Windsor. So having experienced my journey between middle school, high school, college, and now returning home to Hartford and Windsor, Connecticut, I have now been able to utilize my experiences that continue to allow me to fight what I call the good fight of providing equity in education, housing, and criminal justice. And so, you know, when you talk about Black and brown children, from my perspective, this is an opportunity for me to share my stage, my platform, influence to help lobby and influence policy that support equity in those areas. And so I am forever committed to this work, and I'm so glad that each and every one of you will continue to be a part of this journey. And I'm asking that you also join me in the room. So last week as in Wednesday, January 7th, and probably back up a little bit, I want to just talk a little bit about my swearing in. This was, oh my God, when I think about it, this is my 5th term, going on 10 years serving in the General Assembly here in the state of Connecticut, representing the amazing, diverse people of the 5th Assembly District. That's Hartford, Connecticut, and in the town of Windsor. I'm so very, very grateful and appreciative to each and every one of you for this opportunity. This has allowed me to continue the work on housing issues relating to those formerly incarcerated reentering into our community, focusing on zoning policies, and what I've been saying for the longest, providing opportunities for the long-term resident that's not seeing any type of development in their communities. What I'm saying is we need better development, opportunity for growth, and we need to address slum landlords in many of our communities throughout the state of Connecticut and even this country. So I'm excited about all of those very important opportunities for me to implement policy that will have direct impact on the very community that I represent. So thank you. Thank you for this opportunity to represent you during the 2021 legislative session. To my colleagues, kudos to you. But if you all remember last week, it was also a very, very dark time here in our country, and even in the state of Connecticut, but more specifically in our nation's capital. Y'all remember the news flash. The nation's capital is basically being bombarded by domestic terrorists. That's what I'm calling them. Domestic terrorists. A bunch of people just literally damaging our property in the nation's capital. And I would be remiss if I didn't even say what I said on my Instagram page. Be sure to follow me, _BLMJ_. But I couldn't help but to say, only if they were black, where would we be right now? How would we have handled what we witnessed last week? I am, however, extremely excited that we have leaders from the Congressional Black Caucus to the Speaker of the House, Nancy Pelosi, and other leaders, including Vice President Kamala Harris and President-elect, calling what they saw, and that was nothing but a racist activity that happened, and we need to do something about it. And that is, let's remove number 45. He's unfit, and he should not have this opportunity to continue perpetuating violence and inciting fear in the people throughout this country. So while I want to really kind of hone in and talk about that for hours, I want to quickly transition into something that I think we should really be mindful of, and that is the opportunity to turn the page of a Trump era. And that is making sure not only just remain excited about Kamala Harris being the first black vice president and, the Senate being taken over by the Democrats, which I'm so excited about. Kudos and congratulations to two very, very amazing men. That is Ralph Warnock and Mr. Ossoff. It's amazing, and it's extremely historic in that both gentlemen had an opportunity to sit at the feet of John Lewis. And John Lewis, as you know, was a civil rights icon who fought until the day he transitioned. So kudos to the people of Georgia. Kudos to Stacey Abrams, who essentially is using her platform to highlight the importance of organizing, the importance of organizers. And without that, I'm not certain, we're not sure that Georgia would be on the winning side. So kudos to you, Stacey. Kudos to all of the organizations that really encourage people to use their power, use their vote, their voice. And so we're so delighted with that. So I'll end off here. Now that Donald Trump has been muzzled and basically removed, suspended, capiche, gone from all social media platforms, I'm encouraging all of you that are inside the room here to not stop there. There's no victory in that. The victory comes in when each and every one of us continue to educate ourselves on the issues that matter to you, lobby your legislators, that's state, that's local, and obviously on the federal level, and prepare for a legislative session. So let's continue this conversation. Let's continue the dialogue in the room with yours truly, State Representative Brandon McGee. Do you want peace, justice, equality, and community? Tune in and bring your concerns and solutions inside the room here on FubuRadio.com with your host, State Representative